Hello and welcome to my Ford Transit campervan tour. I don't do many of these, so if I miss anything out, please leave a comment below, and I'm just going to get straight into it. So the first thing that a lot of people notice about the van is the colour, and this colour isn't actually much different, although we've painted it to what it was before. The reason we painted it is because we've added a Raptor coat to it, and if you don't know what a Raptor coat is, it's like a hardened paint that basically we've put it all over the van. Everything that's blue has a Raptor coat on it, and it just sort of reinforces it, stops it getting stained and scratched and dented and all that sort of good stuff, which is really good for this sort of van that, you know, when we were doing it up, we planned to take it pretty much everywhere. The second big thing about the outside of the van is this bad boy. This is one of the things that drew me to the Ford Transit, because you could get these big Raptor style grills. It's so striking. I think it looks great, and it really just sets it apart from a lot of other vans that are used for landscaping, like this one was before I bought it and that sort of stuff. So it just looks cool. So another thing on the outside is that we added windows. There was no windows in the van, obviously, apart from the windscreen when we first got it. We put two in this side, one just like this on the other side where the bathroom is, and two on the back if you want to follow me around. This one, if I was to do it again, I probably wouldn't put in because it's a bit useless, because that's where the bathroom is. But this one is great because, one, I can see it through the rear view mirror, and two, it just brings loads of light into the galley kitchen when we're parked up, and I'll show you that in a second. Another big selling point of the van when I first bought it was that it came with the ladder and the roof rack already fitted, which is really cool. So I'm going to head up and show you the solar panel. And the main attraction on the roof is this whacking great solar panel. It's 240 watts, which is good enough to feed the electric system, which I'll show you through in a minute. You can also see our fan there, the max fan, which again I'll talk you through right now. The first thing that people notice when they step into this van is that they can stand up really easily without having to stoop. Now, I'm 6'2", I've got family and friends that are taller than me, and no one that I've had in this van has had to sort of crane their neck like they do in a lot of camper vans. So that is, a massive benefit of this particular model. And the second thing that most people notice when they get in here is this. We wanted the galley kitchen for a few reasons. One, because we wanted to get surfboards through the middle of it. Two, because it just adds a lot more sort of light space. And three, because we wanted to make a big deal of the kitchen because we wanted one of these. So this is a beech live edge worktop. Picked it up from a timber mill down in Cornwall, cut it into the dimensions we want, sanded it down and treated it with workshop oil, and it looks amazing. We're so happy with it. It's my personal favourite part of the van, and a lot of people sort of really love it when they come and visit. On the subject of the kitchen, there's not a massive amount of storage space in the actual kitchen units themselves. That's sort of hidden around the van, under the bed and in various places. The kitchen actually holds the electrics in here, which I'll dive into a little bit more detail in a second. Fridge. This is a 60 litre, very economical fridge. I can't remember the exact brand, but I'll drop it below and a link to where you can buy it. If we've got the solar panel running and the fridge on, we actually gain power. It's that economical that the solar panel just tops it up and then some. And then down here we've got the sink. Again, I can't remember the brand, but I'll drop it below. It works really well. I think it looks nice with the rest of the van. And then we've got a tap that links down to everything below. Speaking of which, we've got a very large freshwater tank, a slightly smaller grey tank because we didn't want anything under the van, so we had to be able to lift it out ourselves. We don't have to empty the grey water tank that often because we're very good with water, but even so, we can lift it out with one arm, no problem. And then under here, we've also got a purifier and a pump. So the water underneath, you fill up it's a freshwater tank. It goes from your fresh water through the purifier, through the pump, gets pumped into the tap, used for whatever you want to use it for, and then down into the grey and then emptied wherever you want. So as we're parked up, we've got a few bits hanging off these storage rails, just chopping boards and storage and stuff like that. These are absolutely brilliant. I bought them online and just sort of modified them so they didn't have the poles, but I added those really cheaply. We've added some extra security because nothing stays still in the van. These boxes came with it, but the string and the hooks didn't, and these are absolutely brilliant. We've got 9 of these boxes. That makes up the most of our storage. And then over here, above the cab, we've also got a decent amount of storage. So we generally put clothes up here because they're nice and soft, easily accessible to grab, a hat if you're going out or whatever. And we left it open because we wanted to create the perception of space in the van. So yeah, it's good to just sort of dump things in, really. We've got 3 more of the boxes up here, and then we've got the bed. So like anyone that's doing a big van conversion or any project really, we did a lot of research when we started this van, and one of the things that a lot of people do that we really didn't want to do was have a fixed bed in the van, because I think it takes up too much space. It's sort of unnecessary, because a lot of the time when you're awake and interacting with the van, you're not going to just be lying in bed. So we kept it as a sofa to have it as a bit of a social space. So it's a nice big sofa. You could easily get 3 or 4 people on here. But as it's just the 2 of us normally, one can sort of chill out and read while the other one's cooking. And it's just a really nice space. And there is loads of storage under here. Most people in their fixed beds would have their electrical setups or like a garage underneath their fixed bed. I think from just a paranoid, not wanting electrics near my head while I'm sleeping view, I wanted to put them somewhere else, which means that we've got loads of space under here for pots, pans, kettles, clothes, obviously the duvet and pillows while we're not using them, sleeping bag if you want to use that. So there's loads of storage. And for anyone that says a fixed bed's better because it's less hassle, watch how quickly I get this bed out. They pull out. That can be a corner sofa as well if you like. These are velcroed to the wall when they're not in use or when they're being used as backrest, but they come off really easily. There we go. And that is a nice big double bed. We normally put the pillows there and just enjoy the view. So the sofa's away, and as I said, you can turn this into an L-shaped sofa, but what we prefer to do is turn the front 2 seats around. We bought an upgraded swivel base. I did do a video on that if you want to check that out. A lot of people really got a lot out of it. And basically we bought a base that allows it to be really safe, you know, seat belted, M1 tested, all the important stuff that makes it usable and safe to drive in, but also very quick and easy to turn around. So I'll do that for you now. Oh, keep going. A little shimmy. Get this bad boy out the way. And it opens the space up so much to the point where you've got almost, you know, a 2-seater sofa worth of room extra in the van, and you can see everything. It's a great view from here. So I'll let you into a little secret. These kitchen cabinets are actually bathroom cabinets, and the reason that I went for bathroom cabinets is 1, I like the look of them, but 2, I wanted a shorter cabinet so I could build a base for it all to sit on, which will allow me to get my big water tank in and also have my batteries underneath the kitchen cabinets, which is what I've got. So I've got 2 200 amp hour lithium ion batteries from Redigy. A lot of people might say this is a bit much, but I just want enough battery capacity that I can fully charge them up, go away for a weekend, and even if it's not sunny, not worry about it. So I've got an induction hob that we use in here. We didn't want an inbuilt hob because we didn't want to ruin the nice worktop. We didn't want a gassed hob because we didn't want gas, because it's one more thing to worry about. So the answer was a big 3 kilowatt inverter, also from Redigy, which allows us to run the induction hob. We can also run kettle, toaster, hairdryer, all that sort of stuff. There's not a lot of household appliances that go over 3 kilowatts. So speaking of appliances, apart from the 240 volt sockets, we've got the water pump running the sink, we've got the fridge, we've got the Max fan up there, which I'll talk to you about in a second, and we've also got 3 lighting circuits, 1 for the bathroom, 1 for the back of the kitchen, and 1 for the living area and the front of the kitchen. So that's everything that we've got coming out. Coming in, we have the big solar panel that I showed you a second ago, coming through a Victron smart controller, which then I don't know exactly how it works, turns the solar power into electric, and that goes into our batteries, that's all I know. And we've also got a DC to DC, 12 volt to 12 volt, whatever you want to call it, Victron charger, which is one of my favourite parts of the electrical setup, because it takes spare power from the van's batteries when the alternator charges the van while the engine's running, and it takes it from the van's batteries and pumps it into the leisure batteries. So whenever I'm driving, I'm charging my leisure batteries as well as my main van battery, which I just think is awesome because it's free electricity really, isn't it? Because we're using the diesel anyway, so we might as well get something more out of it. So also in here, we've got a Max fan. It's a little bit scary cutting a hole in the roof for this, you know, tearing holes in your pride and joy like with the windows. It's operated either with the remote or with buttons on the top. You can open it and close it. It's got a thermometer in it, so you can set the room to exactly what you want. It's a fan, so it pulls air in, but it's also an extractor fan, so when you're cooking and whatever, it's really good. And we found that if it's hot enough to be using it, then the sun's probably out charging the solar and it's making up for it anyway. So it's really good to have. So the bathroom, or wet room as we call it, because it hasn't actually got a toilet or a shower permanently in it, is a pretty cool space, I think, because we've got this really cool sort of stone effect tiling that looks a lot like a bathroom that you'd get in quite a nice bathroom in a house. We've got this pull-out rack that we use for wetsuits, but can be used for basically drying any clothing if it's not great weather outside. We've got another vent that actually came with the van that spins around in the wind and just acts as a bit of an extractor fan, but it's not plumbed into the electric, so it's nice and reliable and free to run. And then, as I mentioned, we've got 2 lights in here, more than enough to do what you need to be doing, and it's just a great space. The base of the bathroom is quite an interesting one because we designed basically the entire layout of the van around this. I bought this from a company called Road Tripping, and it's designed basically for the door to go there, but we obviously wanted the bed to come out slightly further than that. So we changed it up, put a load of storage, as you can see, in here. I think it looks really good. The roller door works really well. And I just think it's quite a cool space to hang some stuff. We generally use a solar shower, so we put that outside, and we can either use it outside if we're in a sort of private area, or this plug does actually go through to the bottom of the van, not into a tank. So obviously make sure you're on grass or over a drain or something if you're using it. But yeah, I think it's a cool space. So we put well over a year's worth of work into getting this van to where it is. So we're extremely proud of what we've achieved and how it looks. Obviously there are things that we do differently next time, quite a few. But actually there's a lot that I'd keep exactly how it is, and you know, what more can you ask for than that? So as I said, if I've missed anything out, please leave a comment and let me know, you know, what you want to know. I'm happy to answer all questions, talk about costs, and whatever you guys want to know, because I get some great questions about this experience. And I might actually do a separate video answering all those questions in this sort of format, because it's quite nice. So let me know if you want me to do that. Let me know if you have any questions, what you missed, what you want to know about the van that I haven't touched on. And I also do loads of other videos about the conversion. There's loads in my backlog, and there's a few more that I need to edit and get out. But there's also coming up, there's going to be loads about us using the van and going on lots of other adventures in the future. So please subscribe, and I'll catch you in another video.